Call the meeting to order. Roll call, Mr. Parati.
Mr. Comando.
Present.
Mrs. Borelli.
Present.
Mr. Buffi. Present. Mr. Quinn.
Present.
Sanchez. Mrs. Scarpiego.
Present.
Mr. Singh. Mrs. Otterelli. Mr. Geary.
Present.
Good
Please
evening.
rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Stand up.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975. This evening we have a presentation, a donation from Arrow Fastener.
Be happy to. Welcome, everyone. A superintendent always gets nervous when he sees a lot of people at a meeting, but it's always nice when we know we're here for something that's very positive. As I've said a couple times in meetings, this is my 46th year in education as an educator, the last 30 as an administrator, and the last 10 doing interim superintendent positions at varied districts. And many times during that career, we've experienced positive things in schools, and that's what it's all about for our kids, for our staff, and for our different communities. But I have to tell you, tonight is maybe one of the most satisfying and positive that I've been involved in. I arrived late to the party, taking over in November, and was told that there was a donation made by a company in town that was going to the Smith School. And my first reaction was, well, that's nice. Usually it's parents or PTO, and it's not often that you'll get many private corporations getting actively involved. And then I was asked to go along with Ray to a meeting to meet and discuss what was taking place. And when I got to the meeting, it was one of the most positive and enthusiastic and pleasant meetings I have ever attended. It's one thing when someone donates, or a corporation in particular donates. It's another when the leaders of that corporation and their employees are so actively engaged, so actively supportive, and really can't wait to get started to help kids and to help schools. And I just walked out of there, and the first thing that I said to Ray is, wow. When you get the leadership that excited, and you get the leadership that enthusiastic, that is a special relationship. And I think that was what the quote was I gave for the press release. And all of this was started through helps through the PTO, a teacher, but in particular individuals. Because usually when you get something that's successful, people just assume that it was easy to do. And wow, that's great. But usually it's a lot of people that say they want something, but there's only a few people that usually step forward. And this is the case with Emily, as the representative of the PTO, case Jill as the reading specialist, and then the support from Gary and his team over at Arrow. And so I can say to the board and to the Saddlebrook community, this truly is a special night. And we have all representatives here today. We're going to do a little presentation. Different people are going to speak. Then at the end, I'm going to take a nice picture with this outstanding looking board up here, really dressed. It's so impressive, and the representatives. And then we're going to take a little break, and hopefully we can thank the representatives from Arrow that are here and answer any questions, because this is the way it should be in a school community. Of course, we're going to have challenges and questions, but I've always said in my entire career in education, 95% of the community and 95% of the parents are always very appreciative of what a school does, and we have to continue to be focused on that. So, with that, Jill, are you ready to begin your presentation? Lights, please. If you can't see, move to the left so you can get to see this presentation.
So in October, I was here talking to the board and everyone about how I fit and our initiative to very strong, our values are very strong, and we wanted to read more, and in order to read more, we needed more books. And so last year we started fundraising, and we started a readathon, and we started online fundraising, and we were able to raise about $1,400, which was great. I went to a PTO meeting, and I talked to the PTO, and Emily Sikimatelis was there, and she took the flyer, and I think it was at that point she made it her mission to get books for the school. So last year, she single-handedly raised $500 within that fundraiser, and that was wonderful. But then she took it a step farther, and she went out into the community over the summer, and she was knocking on doors to all the businesses, can you help, we need books. And luckily, she came upon Arrow, and Arrow was looking for someone just like us. We would love to give. And so, I have a certificate of appreciation for Emily for all of our work. Thank you. She has two children at Helen I. Smith. We have Nikki in first grade, and second grade, and Harris in kindergarten. And we're just so happy that we have parents like you helping the staff and the students who will get here. So thank you so much. We also have a wonderful presentation from the children to show our appreciation, our ambassadors. So I'm going to let Emily say a few words, then I'll show the thank you presentation, and then we'll let Emily speak.
You can take some pictures.
And it's been a really good team effort to make this happen, and we want to make it become our better. And I'd like to take just a couple of seconds and thank our team, because honestly, they are the ones that just give me motivation. And sometimes it's hard to accept. First, I'd like to thank Tracy Solomon, Michael Kubo, Georgette Kubo, Pascal, Jessica Donaldson, Rebecca One, Dr. Wilson Bell, Paul Monaco, Michelle Moore, Bogdanovich, and Evie Lucetta. Without them, CLA would not be possible. And I should thank you to the board, to help. It's a great feeling when the donor makes it possible to reach all. And what Arrow did is a lot more than that. And a lot of the words Cindy showed. They gave our children the energy and a clear imagination. They opened up the doors to the world. They inspired us and still are us to achieve.
Thank you from the children. This is Gary, the president. How do you say your last name? And Melissa and Carlin. So thank you so much, children.
Now, they got to get close to this mic so that we can get it on there. Joe,
I don't think this might.
no, it's wireless. So speak loudly.
This is a thank you card that we made with your logo, and every single student in the school signed it down to the kindergartners. So we want to present this to you, and thank you so much. And hopefully you'll have a place to display this so that everyone can see. All right, so we're going to put this here for now, and then we have a special surprise. I don't know if we're going to be able to hear the video, but we have these girls here, and we have all this thing. So we call them the Sensational Saber Six. Saber is our mascot. And they help write a song and choreograph a song. And so they're going to sing the song along with the video. Girls, actually, I know you want to stand toward the camera. Why don't you watch yourselves, and can you sing at the same time that you're singing in the video? Try that. Let's see how that goes. It takes a lot of practice. So try that. You can watch the video and sing with it, because I don't think we're going to really be able to hear it. And John, can you come up here? This is John Lenary, and he's the third grade, and he introduced the Sensational Saber Six, and you can kind of stand up here. And try to see maybe just a little. Which is a club that we have at Tom I. Smith when we have something special to do, but we know the whole school can't participate. So last time it was 6th grade making commercials for the readathon. This time it was 5th grade, and then John helping us out making music videos. Thank you.
So we're just going to present it to the students for the certificate of appreciation. Usually it's ladies first, but since you were brave enough to work with me, I'm going to give you your certificate first.
my name is Gary Lebock. I'm the president of our Ambassador. That's like I've done presentations in front of board of directors. I've done them in front of 700 people, but I've never been to a school board meeting. Kids who are grown. I never went, and it's a little nerve-wracking. Parents and teachers and administrators. But so let me tell you first of all who we are. We've been right down the street, right down the St. House here, since 1966, I believe, when we put the building there. And we're manufacturers. We're manufacturers of just the tools that you see on the top there. That's not all of them, but that's a representation of what we do. We make this one on the left. It's pretty iconic. This is our #1 tool is our staple gun, our T50 staple gun. It's probably the best on staple gun in the world. And everybody that I tell where I work with, I've only been here 6 years, and I say what I do, they say, oh yeah, I have one of those. My grandfather gave me. So it's been around since 1957, so it's a long time. And we make staple guns, and we make glue guns, and we make some power tools, some electric and pneumatic tools, rivet tools, and we sell to primarily to the DIY marketplace. We sell to Home Depot, we sell to Lowe's, and all the big box retailers, as well as some professional makers as well. So that's who we are. Why we're here. So it's really simple. We, several months ago, I guess it was at this point, got a call from Emily telling us how she was trying to raise money for the library, and it really touched us. Kids need a library. They need books, and it's important. So we went to Masco, which is our parent company, and we explained the situation, and we worked together with them, and we came up with $25,000 for the library, which is basically what Emily told us that they need. And the interesting thing about it is, it's one thing to go to a corporation and say we want money. I get requests every single week for money, for somebody, for something. But this one's a little different because this is our neighborhood. We work here, we're here every day. It's important to us. And the people that work for us, we have 330 people there, they were overwhelmingly in favor of supporting this initiative. But I think there's a little further, because money, don't be wrong, money's important, and you need the money, and we're really happy to give it. But we want to be involved. We want to be involved more than just, we've already handed them a check. We want to do more than just hand them a check. We're doing the book drive, where we're collecting books to fuel the library even further. We're going to build some furniture for the library. We'd like to come in, maybe it's once a month, we're not sure what the timing is yet. We asked if we could, read, have people volunteer to read to the kids, and then do some other fundraising for the library. We think it's a great cause, and we're excited about it. You have 330 people down the street who are really, really excited about doing this. They're very, very, they're very into it. They really think it's a great cause. And, as much as, the board and Emily, in particular, has been so overwhelmingly positive and thankful for it, it's good for us as well. It makes us feel good, and we feel that we're doing something that really it's worthwhile, and we appreciate that. So we're happy to give it. We're happy to be involved, and that's it.
On behalf of the Saddlebrook School Board, I'd like to first thank Emily Sikimatelis, the team at Smith School, for your dedication and hard work in securing this great donation. I'd also like to thank Arrow Fastener, President Gary Duboff, and your team for your generous donation to the students of Saddlebrook that'll be carried for many, many years to come, and many students will benefit from that great library that you're doing. And I just want to say thank you. We appreciate it, and you're always welcome here, and we appreciate everything that you're doing. Thank you so much.
The final part of this is going to get a picture with the board, with Arrow. I guess Pat used as the principal of the building. This is almost like a wedding. Emily, be here that we can put this together. Then we'll take a little break, and then at that point we're going to resume the board meeting. You do not have to stay. I was sort of impressed that this was Gary's first board meeting. I want to know what his secret is, but we do have stuff to go through, but there's plenty of time for you to leave and go back and do your homework and get ready for tomorrow. So if the representatives from Arrow can come up, Pat, Emily, and the board come out front, we'll be able to get a picture of everyone so that we can put that out with the press release. Thank you. Look this way. Ray, tell us how you got that. You're ready to go. Just stay there, right? That's good. No one moves to right next to it. That was good, Ray. Get through. Kids, I'm going to get it in. Let's go. That's one of them. You all set? Oh, come on, you're the star. Wait 1 second, Brad. One more. Everyone else? We go worldwide. Come on, you two, get in there. Any other kids? Okay. One more, come on, one more. There you go. Okay. Look forward. We're going to take a break.
Motion to reconvene the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to open the meeting to public agenda items only. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Does anyone wish to address the board on agenda items? Seeing none, motion to close the meeting.
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Business Administrator's Report, Mr. Karati, please.
Thank you, President Garrick. This evening I have the minutes from November, checks for the month of November, transfers, and board secretary and treasury reports for the month of October, items 4A through D.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Karati.
Mr. Arcomando,
Yes.
Mrs. Browley,
Yes.
Mr. Goofy. Yes. Mr. Quinn,
Yes.
Ms. Sanchez. Mrs. Scanapaco,
Yes.
Mrs. Zondarelli,
Yes.
Mr. Garrick.
Yes.
That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Karati. Student Representatives Report, Casper.
Alright. I haven't been given anything by any other elementary schools. However, for the high school, the students violated the redesigned SAT. The new SAT will be given in March, but because 32 students from Sabbath High School were given the option to try the new test and to see how it works. And the school is also offering free ACT practice to students that will be interested in taking the ACT. The high school will be having its winter concert on December 23rd, and the middle school will be having its concert on the 17th. And with that, because the high school winter sports are beginning on the 18th, beginning with a basketball game, and following that on the 23rd will be the winter sports paper out. And that's all.
Thank you for your report, Casper. Superintendent's report.
Yeah, I just have one addition from the last meeting. I passed it out to all of you at Franklin School. Tony had sent it up to me. Teacher Farah DeSalvo has really took on a wonderful initiative. She started a writers club after school on Wednesday, and to her surprise and excitement, she had so many students sign up that she needed to divide it into sessions. Farah is doing this voluntarily, and they're really excited. And those are the type of positive things that are going on, and again shows how many teachers will give extra. And so I wanted you guys to be aware that that took place. Okay, student services, we're looking for a motion from A1 through A7. Second? Second?
Second. Any discussion on those items? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Parati.
Mr. Arcomando?
Yes.
Mrs. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Buffi? Yes. Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Sanchez? Yes. Mrs. Caniaco?
Yes.
Mrs. Zattarelli?
Yes.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Under administration, asking for a motion for B1 and B2. And
Any discussion on those two items? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Parati.
Mr. Arcomando?
Yes.
Mrs. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Buffi? Yes. Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Sanchez? Yes. Mrs. Caniaco?
Yes.
Mrs. Zattarelli?
Yes.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
under business and board D, looking for a motion from D1 through D9. And a second?
Any discussion on those items? Seeing none, roll call.
Mr. Arcomando?
Yes.
Mrs. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Buffi? Yes. Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Sanchez? Mrs. Caniaco?
Yes.
Mrs. Zattarelli?
Yes, I'm abstaining from D1.
Mr. Garrett?
Yes, but I'm abstaining from D17, that's the county school board meetings, plus $5.
Okay, Ray, you can help me on this, with you do here on policy. Dave, on the policy.
Motion to open the meeting to the public. Second. And I need a policy. Seeing no comments. No comments. Motion to close. Okay. Motion.
So then we're looking for a motion for E1 and 2. Excuse me?
Just for me, well,
We're looking for a motion for E1.
Roll call, Mr. Parati.
Mr. Arcomando?
Yes.
Mrs. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Buffi? Yes. Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Sanchez? Mrs. Caniaco?
No.
Mrs. Zattarelli?
We're looking. Oh, I apologize. We're looking for a motion for E2.
So moved.
You don't have to do a motion?
It's the first reading.
All right. We go to personnel. F1, wait a second. F1 through F19. Have a motion? Second?
Any discussion on those 19 items?
Mr. Chair? Number 8, clerical 8. Is this unfortunately, I was not able to make one of this meeting, but I was just curious, clerically, where does this person, work? In which,
The high school, and it's what they've set up here is in the front of the building to direct people to go to the main office when they come in.
all right, so that would be clerical 8.
Yes, that's the position they hired him to.
I just think that, in staying with the times, we need to, the unfortunate tragedies in schools these days, and the safety concerns, security. If it's in the front of the school, I would prefer to see more of a uniform security presence, but that's just my opinion.
We had a meeting, Ray and I, with the mayor and the municipal clerk. And the mayor has indicated, not for this year, but he is moving, and I think he is talking with the chief, of reinitiating with the support of the board, a school resource officer for the 16-17 year, which is a positive. And then I know you are looking also, I have, let me look that way. I have very specific opinions on security because of what I've gone through in my personal life. And so at the right time, if you people wanted to hear that, I will give them. But at this particular point, the way you're set up, this is the most effective way you're going to do it. I know that in talking to Ray in different schools, you've put in this, what do you call it, Ray, the double door, the trap, right. And that you're looking to do that and expand it to other schools. So I think what's happened to you is that you're moving into that direction, and that could be a satisfactory result to it. But the way it's set up right now, this most likely meets not security, but of the concern that you would be worried about with Newtown and that type of stuff. But it does prevent people from just walking in and going down the hall, and most people just please go to the office first. So it does not satisfy your legitimate concern, but I do think you're moving in the right direction.
So there's no from the main office or anything like that?
I don't know from the high school. I do know, I think maybe from the K-6. I'm not sure at the high schools. I can't answer that question.
That's where that position was set up. I think.
Before?
Tragedy, buzzer set up outside the offices in that corner outside the auditorium. Even the visitor passes to whatever I do, check them out. So you're stationary there for a good part of the day.
Madam Chair, this position isn't being created. She's just filling something that's already in there.
That's correct.
The person who had it
Was moved.
is now paraprofessional.
However, unfortunately, I did not know that we even had this position
Oh, okay.
in place. So, yeah, that was my question of what is calculated and where are they going?
I think what they put here is that's the category, I'm guessing, but that's the category under which you could come up with the dollar amount. As you go forward, depending on what you do as a district regarding this, you obviously you can change those titles based on the need. I know some districts have retired policemen in the buildings, and they pay them a certain fee, and but you know, if as you're moving forward, if you want me involved in that discussion, I'd be more than happy to tell you my true feelings about this. You're welcome.
Any other discussion?
On item number 14, Ray, did you get any numbers as far as the roster for?
No, we don't have to.
Okay, I mean, I stand on my grounds from Monday. We had parents, we had students go to the athletic director to ask for a division of the cheerleading squad. We were told there's no room, there's no money, and to just pop up all these positions. Our coaches aren't even making these first title, these stipends that the assistant coaches first year are making. So until everything is made fair.
You expressed yourself very well. The only challenge you have, and I don't know how you resolve that, is that this is a negotiated item with the association. Now, there's only one or two ways that can be resolved, your concern. One, the association comes forward and says, we believe certain positions need additional stipends and money because they do this extra stuff that we weren't aware of. And in some cases, I've been involved where a board would say, you know, in this one area, I've never seen more than one, but in this one particular area, we do believe that this position deserves more money. The challenge there is a lot of times certain clubs in particular, usually it's not athletics, but certain clubs, the reason it's been so successful, it's the individual. And the individual is so enthusiastic and so good And then you raise that, and then that individual, for whatever reason, leaves or doesn't do it, and the next person coming in doesn't have that same enthusiasm, and you dealt with that money. But that's a decision the board made. And in negotiations, you're in it now. But the only reason that these are down and were put in is because it's already in the contract. In other words, it states assistant, and you have in the contract, Kim, an S, so you can hire multiple. In the area of cheerleading, in which there's two, the competition and the head and the other cheerleader, which was stereotypically when I was in school, we didn't have the competition. That's a long time ago. But there's two different types. It doesn't have assistant. And so what the board has there is just one head coach. And then you have one head coach in bowling and you have one head coach in golf. Some districts, the association I've been in, the board agreed to have a head boys bowling coach and a head girls bowling coach. I thought that was interesting. Yeah, but that's a thing you could possibly work out while you're doing negotiations now.
Well, we've only had the course for 3 years, so to have that in the contract, that was really looking down the road to ensure that the possibility was there. And again, should have did it for cheerleading as well, so that when our children from the district who have been doing this in our rec program for their whole entire academic career, they come up to high school and they get cut from the team. And I don't think a child should be cut in cheerleading when every other sport has a JV and a freshman, and no child in any other sport is cut.
That's a different issue. So now, because what you boards can make that they don't. You're opening up now a real Pandora box in the factor of which would be more extensive discussion than what's taking place here. Because here we go now. Because once you go involved with no cutting policy, I'll give you an example. It might not be here at Saddlebrook, but when I was the principal at Northern Valley Demarest, we as administration and as an AD, not a board, and that goes from school to school. My philosophy always was, if you've got 15, you pick your squad. If you got 15 on the freshmen and you got 15 on the JV, not a problem. You got 18, not a problem. You want to keep 24? Not a problem, but you've created your own problem as a coach. But then they all play. Because as a principal, I could care less if they were 0-20 or 20-0. You're developing there. The only time it really counts, as far as I was concerned, the varsity. But that was left up to the coaches. But now, if the board came out, and some have done that, not many, and said we want a no-cut policy. And then let's say freshman basketball, you get 30 kids to try out. Well, then the AD is going to come back and say, well, now we need 2 freshman coaches. And my expectation would be if this board did that, then you're fine. You get 2 because we said don't cut anybody because you can't put 30 on. The problem then for the AD is how do I schedule 2 freshman teams in the schedules for the leagues? Because that's a difficult challenge. The few sports that have a no-cut policy are track, because you can take as many as you want, and football. Because in those cases, when I coached at Joe's, those are the heydays, I had 70 players on the team. Now the average amount of players, even in the Group 3 schools, is 28 to 35 or to 36. It's dwindled down. But you can, as long as you got the uniforms. But when you get into basketball and you get into softball and those areas, there is a legitimate number which is usually around 18 to 20. So you got to be somewhat, all I'm trying to say is how you're going to do that, the wording has got to be done.
Well, just to clarify, I do not as a board member want to create a no-cut policy. What my point was that children were cut because there was no opportunity to develop a freshman team, which very much could have been filled.
Then my suggestion, because you're on the negotiating committee, because it seems to be one thing, is that you would speak to the negotiating committee on the board and say, look, here's one area I would like to add the possibility for an assistant. And if the committee agrees and you present that to the association, and I will tell you, they'll agree. So
I've
it's
discussed
like,
it with.
then it's up to you.
It's been brought up.
Okay, then you're on the right track.
Through the chair, I just have a question to ask on the head boys varsity.
Head boys varsity, okay.
In the past 11 months, I went back and looked at all my agendas, and the head varsity coach, to my knowledge, has not resigned. Are we now going to have two?
No.
Or did I miss something?
Well, I have no idea. I will say this to you. I feel like Rodney Dangerfield because I made it through 4 weeks, and I'll have to take a look at that. There's only one head coach. So my guess is you're saying it's a different person, then the other person is not coming. And that resignation would be most likely, not necessarily a resignation, because what basically is, let me say this, you have not released the varsity lacrosse coach. And so since you have not released them, as far as the board is concerned, you would expect that name to come. But if that individual called Chris and said, I'm not coming back next year because it's a year-to-year contract, then it moved ahead and is now appointing a new coach, because you're appointing that coach for this sport. I will check tomorrow to make sure that the option which makes sense to me is the other individual called in and said, I've just not continued.
It just says pending contract negotiations. That's also background checks, right?
No, they're all background checks.
Okay.
But the pending contract negotiations means they're going to get the salary here, then whenever the final is done, that'll be
I
adjusted.
understand that. It doesn't
Yes.
say anything about background checks.
They have to have
That's
back-
a given.
That's
Okay.
a given. They have to do that.
Any other comments? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Brown.
Mr. Arcamando?
Yes.
Mrs. Browley?
Yes, but no, that's number 8.
Mr. Bluefield?
Yes, while we abstain to number 8, number 14, ID number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
14, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Ms. Sanchez?
Yes, but I'm saying.
Mrs. Scanapieco?
Yes, to all except number 14, items 1, 2, and 3. Number 14, ID, 1, 2.
Mrs. Otterow?
Yes to all except 8. I was under the impression that this wasn't going to be on tonight's agenda, and that we were going to have a month to look into the questions we raised Monday, but since it is for us to vote, we're going to have to send that.
The only thing I'd correct you on it respectfully is I sent something out to the whole board yesterday, and I did answer your question this morning. I appreciated you making that, and I did respond to you on
Yes,
what
you
took
did.
place. So I did answer on why I was able to do it.
But that wasn't the only question.
There was not much else that was there. So, but I respect your. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Garrett?
No on number 8, yes on everything else.
So number 8 does not pass, and number 14 passes already.
Committee reports.
Just a part of negotiations. The Saddlebrook Maintenance and Custodial Association, we have reached a tentative agreement with them, and we're currently working on finalizing the salary guides. The SBEA and the negotiations team will meet on January 5th, and we look forward to a good, quick, amicable resolution in the coming year.
Thank you, Mr. Quinn. Any other committee reports?
Buildings and grounds, just a quick referendum update. We're looking into phase 2 of the referendum for this summer. I'm working with the architect on wall school windows. We're out to bid for that end of January, and hoping to avoid that in February because there's a long lead time with the windows and we have to put in some blends. We're also working on the high school auditorium renovations. The high school auditorium will look great, but we're working with him on that, which will go out to bid probably sometime around February and or March. And same with the security, that'll be the cameras and hand trap vestibule areas. So we're moving forward to phase 2 for the summer.
Any old business?
Which cameras for what? Oh, that would be either one.
Okay. Is there any way we can use old school as a place for these kids to learn? If there's a place to base these kids.
Use what school?
Productions and stuff.
Which school? Oh. I got down the ones that I know. I'm saying, boy, I haven't been going to one. Where's this one? I got to go out on a scavenger hunt tomorrow. Now I know which one. When I was younger, I umpired games behind that, and it was a school. I do know where it is. Ray, would you like to answer that?
We could say what the township is or a meeting and discuss it there. Yeah, they have, I don't know what the commission and how they use it. I'll have to talk to them and see. We'll go from there.
Okay.
Now we're looking to our system and sound audio. We'll discuss everything.
Any other old new business? Under new business, we have a presentation of a plaque for Mrs. Gina Borelli, a Board of Trustee. It's her last meeting. She's given, is it over 3 years or 3 years? 3 years. Of her time and energy. And I just want to thank you on behalf of the board for all of your hard work, and we know how many hours you put in, and we appreciate everything. And when I first got involved with the board, I met with you, if you remember, and we spoke, and you kind of got me involved, and I just want to say thank you for that. And it's been a pleasure working with you. Present Gina Borelli in grateful recognition of dedicated service as board trustee from 2013 to 2015, presented by the Southwick Board of Education, December 9th, 2015.
Thank you very much.
With that, through the chair, I would like to say it has been a pleasure serving the students and community members of Southwick for the past few years. And thank you very much for that opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mr. Borelli. Any other comments?
Mr. Chair, I would just like to say thank you very much, Gina. It's been a pleasure serving with you as a person that came on 1 month after I did. And it's been wonderful serving with you, and thank you for all of your incredible time and energy in the last few years.
Thank you.
Through the chair, just want to wish you well. Thank you for all of your help coming on the board. As a newbie, you kind of took me under your wing, and any questions I had, you were always there, and I really do appreciate it. And thank you for your service to the district.
Thank you. Through the chair, I wish you the very best. And I'm sorry I only had 1 year left, but same to all of you as well. Remaining years.
Well, I guess that was a good lead-in for me to say something. I served as a board member for 22 and a half years, 18 of them with therapy. But I do remember one day there were about 300 people at a board meeting in the summer. It was a K-8 school. I was board president. And anyone who's served on a board knows that if a lot of people come in the summer, there's a real problem. And they were ripping our heart out. I mean, it was vicious. And this elderly woman got up and said, you know, you did such a bad job on that decision you made. They should take your pay away. And I said, ma'am, you want to know how stupid we are? we're volunteering for this abuse. And about 300 people laughed, and she said, I apologize. And then the other 299 continue to rip our heart out. So anyone that serves on a Board of Education, a mayor and council, giving back to their community, I have not served with anyone, either in a capacity as a citizen or boards, that aren't trying to do their best. And do they make right decisions? Do we make them right all the time? Of course not. But the situation is you're trying to do it in the best interest. So I applaud anyone that steps forward and takes that time. So Gina, only knowing each other for a short period of time, thank you.
Motion to open the meeting to the public?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Does anyone wish to address the board? Seeing no one, motion to close the meeting to the public?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Have a good night.
Good
Our
night,
next
guys.
meeting is